Hello, welcome to Explore Classroom. My name is Kip Hotman, and I'm so glad you're joining us today. This month, we are celebrating Earth Month, and we hope you take the opportunity to invest in our planet. Learn more about Earth Month at nationalgeographic.org. And at National Geographic, we use the power of science, exploration, education, and storytelling to illuminate and protect the wonder of our world. Explore Classroom connects students worldwide with our National Geographic Explorers for short lessons and time for your questions. This school year, each month will be organized around a specific theme. This April, Explore Classroom will be focused on wildlife conservation and what we can learn from observing animals in the wild. So today, our explorer is none other than Arjun Dheer. Arjun is a wildlife ecologist who works to protect the planet's big predators, hyenas, lions, leopards, and more. Today, Arjun will share how he collaborates closely with local communities to better understand how people interact with large carnivores. Before we get into today's lesson, I'd love to welcome our registered viewers who join us from around the globe. Special shout outs for today go to none other than Boonesboro Elementary School, Sprouts Garden Preschool, St. Andrew School, Everest Academy, Fish Creek School, Mastery Charter School, and all our homeschools out there. We are thrilled to have y'all here. And with that, let's get this Explore Classroom started. It's time to turn it over to Arjun to share all about the planet's biggest predators. Take it away, Arjun.
All right, I will share my screen and get started here. So, thank you, Kip, for that very nice introduction, and I am so excited to be here with all of you today. I'm also equally excited about large carnivores and big predators. So right off the bat, could you please raise your hand if you know what a large carnivore is, or what large carnivore means? Oh, I like that. A lot of enthusiasm. So for those of you who don't know it, the meaning is actually pretty simple. Large means big, and carnivore means meat eater, or animal that eats meat. So a large carnivore is a big animal that tends to eat meat. And large carnivores are all related to one another. They're all quite similar to each other. And so on this slide, I have some examples of large carnivores. You might recognize some of them. The one on the top left is an American black bear. The one on the top right is a spotted hyena. The one on the bottom right is a family of cheetahs. The one on the bottom center is a lioness. And on the one on the bottom left is an African wild dog. And all of these animals are large carnivores. And carnivores are different from omnivores, which are animals that eat both meat and plants. An example of an omnivore is this bush pig on the left, very similar to the type of pig you'd see at a farm or a barn. And the animal on the right is a herbivore, a plant eater, a vegetarian, and this is called a giraffe. So my job is to study and learn about the meat eaters, the large carnivores, in order to help protect them. Because the number of large carnivores on Earth today is getting lower. That makes me a bit sad because they play very important roles in nature, and we humans depend on them, and they depend on us. So my research aims to understand what they need, what they do, in order to make sure that they keep surviving in places where we share space with them, where human beings like me and you live alongside these animals. And so I can do this research in a few ways. One way, my favorite way and the most fun way, is to follow them with my car every single day. And an example of this is this lion on the bottom left. I was able to spend the whole day with him from a safe distance, following him, seeing what he was eating, what he was doing, and where he liked to hang out. And this gave me a lot of information to learn what lions are going to need in order to keep surviving into the 21st century. But following them with my car isn't always possible, especially at nighttime. So then what can I do? Well, one way is to actually use collars. I can put a collar on the animal's neck, and then that collar has what's called a GPS device, a global positioning system device, that tells me where the animal is, what it's been doing, and where it's been going. And so I can know, even in the middle of the night, where the animal is, if it's getting into trouble, how things are going. And the picture at the top left shows me and some of my friends putting a collar with a GPS on it on a spotted hyena. The picture on the right shows a very sleepy lion that already has a collar on it. And the collar goes right around the animal's neck. I even have a little model hyena plushie to show you. So the collar will go right around the neck here. And it's just like the collar you'd have on your pet dog or cat. Obviously, real hyenas are about 100 times the size of this one, about the size of the very biggest dog you can imagine. So they're big, strong animals, and the collar doesn't disturb them at all. And then the black and white picture at the bottom left shows a leopard, a type of wild cat. And I got that picture on what's called a camera trap, which is a camera that I can put in the forest, in the bush, wherever, outdoors. And it actually senses, it's really amazing. It senses when an animal is passing by, and then it takes a picture of them for me. And I can be asleep and it'll be taking pictures and doing my research for me, so I can just relax. And that way I can understand where the animals are, what they're doing, and how many of them live in a particular area. And I just find these animals, all large carnivores, so fascinating because although they all have similar roles, they all do similar things, and they all have very sharp teeth, as you can see in the picture on the right, they do it in different ways, and they go about their behaviors and their lifestyles in different ways. Some are social, which means they live in groups, and some are solitary, which means they live alone. And an example of a social large carnivore is actually the spotted hyena. We can see there on the top left, one hyena grooming another, sort of giving it a nice ear massage. And it looks like the one lying down there's obviously enjoying the massage. It's a social animal, so it likes these sort of social behaviors, such as grooming. An example of a solitary large carnivore is the leopard. You can see this one on the bottom left is just hanging out on its own on a tree branch. It doesn't want to be around any other leopards, and certainly no other animals. And because all large carnivores eat meat, they actually will tend to compete with each other. They want to eat from the same plate. And so part of my work involves understanding how they interact with each other and how they share food and space. And I have a cool video to show you that. So, well, I won't spoil it. I'll just play it for you first with some narration, of course. So just to start with, this is a group of hyenas. Remember, they're social, so they live in groups. They're sharing a dinner. They're having a great time enjoying their dinner, but you can see they're looking to the right off screen. I wonder what's coming. So they're all a bit scared. They're all running away. I wonder what it is. Oh, it's a lion. So this lion came running in and just stole their meal. And that's two different types of large carnivores competing for the same food. And so part of my research is to understand how they're able to share the same food and how they're able to coexist with each other. Oh, play it again. But probably the most important aspect of my research involves understanding how large carnivores interact with local communities or people who share the space and the area with the large carnivores where I'm working. And this is super important, the most important part, because to protect large carnivores and make sure that they survive, we need to respect the needs of the people who live alongside them and balance the people's needs with the large carnivores' needs. And this is so important. It requires an explorer mindset. It requires a lot of curiosity, a great sense of responsibility, plenty of empathy. So being able to put myself in other people's shoes and understand where they're coming from, how they feel, and respecting their needs, and empowerment, making sure that they can make the important decisions and that they can also study these large carnivores and benefit from large carnivores being around. And this mindset is something that I learned and developed over time. This wasn't always something that I knew about. Many, many years ago, when I was your age, when I was in school, I was so interested in animals and wildlife, especially large carnivores and nature and learning and being outdoors. And I dreamed that one day I'd be able to study these animals. And so I worked super hard and I got to where I am today, thanks to the help of my teachers and keeping an open mind and keeping a respectful approach to these things. And I would ask that all of you stay curious, learn from your teachers as much as possible so you can do the same. I even got so lucky that I had the chance to take videos and study large carnivores, such as spotted hyenas and lions, with Jeff Corwin, someone who inspired me when I was your age. He's a filmmaker, he's a nature show host who loves animals. And when I was in school, he was someone I really looked up to. I watched his show every single day. And it was a dream come true to be able to film these animals with him. And so again, I would encourage all of you to pursue whatever you're passionate about. Maybe your dream will come true as well. You can make a difference for large carnivores and local communities or whatever else you might be interested in to help protect our planet. And it's really important to do so because you all are the future. You will be the ones who decide if large carnivores and local communities will be able to coexist in the future. And that makes me really hopeful because I know you can do it. And one way you can start, and my request to all of you, would be to start a conservation conversation. By conservation, I mean the study and protection of Earth's natural resources and wildlife. So what you can do today after school is to ask a family member or a friend outside of your classroom to name one type of large carnivore. It could be one of the ones I mentioned today. It could be lion, spotted hyena, American black bear. If they're able to name a large carnivore, if they know what large carnivore means, ask them what they think can be done to protect these animals and make sure that we continue to coexist with them and what we need to do collectively to ensure that these species survive well past the day that you all finish school. And if they're not able to name a large carnivore, that's okay, but maybe you can name one of the ones that I mentioned today, one of the ones that I study, and think together carefully with your family member or friend what can be done to protect this animal. So with all of that, I just want to say thank you all very much for listening. If you're not as tired or bored as this yawning lion is, then please feel free to ask me any questions. And thanks again. Yeah.
Wow. Such an interesting encounter, my friend. Thank you for sharing. And Arjun, thank you again for such an amazing presentation. And thank you and shout out to all the teachers and students watching. We hope you join many more of our events. And our next event for ages 3 to 8 will be on Monday, May 1st with explorer Melanie Winger, and we'll learn how to best interact with wildlife and what we can do to protect endangered species. So go ahead and register for this event and more at natgeoed.org/Explorer Classroom. You can request a chance to be featured on screen. And fellow teachers, we've also created a new interactive guide for you to share with your students to take them on a learning journey with each of our special guests. Find the Explorer Mindset in Action Guide and Teacher Edition linked on each event registration page. Have a great day, everyone. Stay curious and keep exploring. Bye, friends.